Jesse and Ashley Ridgway murdered their own baby, and now they want to act as if they are the victims in all of this. In case you're not familiar, they have over 4 million subscribers here on YouTube, billions of views, and if you really want to understand just how grotesque this entire situation is, we actually have to go all the way back to April. So they were having this gender reveal party. It was supposed to be a celebratory event, and Jesse got the preliminary results, which suggested that their baby was going to have Down syndrome. He knew all of this. He knew his wife Ashley was going to have a meltdown. So what did he do? He pulled her aside, turned on the cameras, made sure the cameras were filming, and he filmed her breakdown so he could post it and monetize it here on YouTube.
Yeah, Jeffrey said, and I don't, maybe you could speak to this, but there's a Down syndrome chance for the baby, but it's like 95 out of 100% chance.
Yeah, some people will do anything for the clicks, anything for the views. And what's really disturbing is she's crying. She's clearly taking this really hard, and he's not comforting her at all. Keep in mind, he already knew the results. That's why he pulled her aside. He's having all of this filmed, and he seems like he doesn't care at all. This is just for the content. Of course, the most disturbing part is their baseline behavior, this expectation that someone with Down syndrome is something to mourn and not a human life to celebrate. So we'll get into that later in the video, but that was just the preliminary test results. They ended up getting a test later on in the pregnancy confirming that, yes, their baby is going to have Down syndrome, and Ashley just completely loses it. And Jesse's comments, well, let's just say they leave a lot to be desired.
Here we go. So we're going to see the result. I have to download the official report. Abnormal insight result. Consistent with trisomy 21. No.
What is it? Wait. Where are you seeing this?
No.
Let me see. I can't see it.
It says abnormal insight result. Blah, blah, blah. Showed 3 chromosome 21 signals consistent with trisomy 21 Down syndrome. Genetic counseling is recommended. Pattern consistent with trisomy 21. Hey, because this is traumatic, like very traumatic, and I know you guys even watching this, this is traumatic for the whole community. I think now that we have a definitive result, we'll talk with these counselors and we're gonna have some hard conversations.
Yeah, you're right, Jesse. It is traumatic. It's traumatic that the two of you are attempting to normalize the othering of people with Down syndrome. What you guys are doing here is propagating this idea that people with Down syndrome, well, those aren't lives to be celebrated. We shouldn't care about their humanity. Instead, those are lives to be mourned. Those are people to be othered and cast aside. No, that's not me reading between the lines. That's not me putting words into your mouth. This is proven by your own actions. So Jesse and Ashley announced their abortion online. He wrote, "This week, my wife and I made the very difficult decision to terminate the pregnancy due to trisomy 21. The choice was not made lightly." So what you guys did was you murdered your own child. And yes, it is murder. If you're not aborting a human life, what exactly are you aborting? You murdered it just because it had Down syndrome. You were saying that someone with Down syndrome was not worthy of life. That is why you guys are getting backlash here. And yet, despite all of that, despite your gross inhumanity, despite your heartlessness, you guys are acting as if you're the victims here. You guys are acting as if you're the bright light in the world, and the rest of us, oh, we're the dark side of humanity.
It has been shocking. Close people to us, very judgmental, religious based, saying we're going to burn in hell. You know, we deserve to die. You know,
I don't deserve to be a mother because of, the decision that we just made.
Yeah, we had a gate installed. I have a gun next to my nightstand because it's been getting so ridiculous. And they've been coming to emails, DMs, you name it. It's been, we've seen the darkest side of humanity through this process.
Again, they're turning themselves into the victims in all of this. Forget the baby that they murdered. Oh, boo-hoo, they got some mean tweets. Feel bad for them. What an absolute joke. Now, look, this isn't just about abortion. This is actually also about eugenics. Because if you think about it, with all the advancements in technology and medicine, there's been a lot of talk about gene editing, CRISPR. I mean, we're getting to a point where we're going to be able to design babies. Yeah, we're going to have designer babies in the future here. And, othering people with Down syndrome, that's just step number one. In the past, eugenics used to be state-sponsored. It was this huge, scary, monstrous thing. And the scary thing today is that modern-day eugenics, it's not obvious. It's hard to spot because now it's consumer-driven. And you have at least one party, and you have the government promoting this because this is what they wanted all along, and people don't see it because it is under the disguise of choice and liberty and women's reproductive rights and medical freedom, medical autonomy. But at the end of the day, it is eugenics. Look, when it's Down syndrome, people don't care, right? Because they're used to people with Down syndrome being othered. That, of course, is gross. But let's just say it was something more common. Let's say Jesse and Ashley found out that their baby had, I don't know, let's say you could tell that your baby was going to have diabetes. And let's say Ashley started crying, oh, my baby's going to have diabetes, and we're going to abort it just because it has diabetes. Do you think they would get the same reaction? Do you think the people with diabetes alive who are currently championing Jesse and Ashley championing abortion, how do you think they would feel? Let's say there was a conservative Christian couple who somehow believed in abortion. Yes, there are crazy people out there. Let's say this conservative Christian couple found out that their baby is going to be gay or going to be trans, and they decided, oh, we don't want to live with a gay baby. We don't want to live with a trans baby. So let's just abort it. How do you think the left would react? Do you think they would call that a hate crime? Of course they would. So with all of these examples, whether it's diabetes or aborting a baby because it's gay or potentially going to be trans, you can see the hypocrisy in the left here, because I guarantee if a conservative Christian couple did that, the left would not allow it. The government would not allow it. They would call it a hate crime. They would probably put those parents in jail, because at the end of the day, what you are doing when you are aborting a baby is you are aborting a human life. Again, if you're not terminating your pregnancy, if you are not ending human life, what exactly are you aborting here? You can cloak it, you can disguise it with all these cute catchphrases, with all of these politically charged terms, but at the end of the day, what you are doing is murder. And despite all of that, they want to pretend they're the victims. Oh, we've seen the darkest side of humanity, as if they aren't guilty of perpetrating the darkest side of humanity. Of course, if you talk to anyone with Down syndrome, they will tell you they are happy to be alive. They will tell you that they deserve to live. And that's what I want to show you next. This is Frank Stevens, who spoke at the United Nations, and he said, yeah, the best way you can improve our life is actually by defending our lives. But before we get to that, I would like to acknowledge the members of today's Governor's Club. They are Jeremy 2001 Happy, Peach Street Squarefette, and Lisa H. These are people who give tips and super thanks to the channel. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you enjoy. Well, this is one of the most powerful clips I have seen yet.
I am a man with Down syndrome, and my life is worth living. When my body was first forming, when the first two cells divided, each of them had one extra chromosome. People like me tend to be a little shorter because our arms and legs are shorter. Our faces are a little bit flatter because our cheekbones and noses don't stick out from our faces as much. I have been asked to tell you how to improve the lives of people with Down syndrome. The key is right there in my opening paragraph. It begins with, I am a man. See me as a human being, not a birth defect, not a syndrome. I don't need to be eradicated. I don't need to be cured. I need to be loved, valued, educated, and sometimes helped.
100%. He is no different in terms of the value of his humanity than the rest of us. And they always begin with the groups that they are able to other. And by they, I mean eugenicists, people who are pro-abortion. But it's only a matter of time. With gene editing, with CRISPR, with all the technologies that are coming, it's only a matter of time until extremists not just make this even more normal than it already is, but they even start moving the line further and further and further away from what's morally acceptable. And this is not acceptable. It's only a time until they say, oh, all people with brown eyes, you gotta go. People with darker skin, you gotta go. The gays, you gotta go. People with diabetes, you gotta go. It's only a matter of time until they start weeding out everything under the guise of, oh, it's personal choice, it's personal autonomy, it's women's reproductive rights, it's privacy between a woman and her doctor. And before you know it, people like you and I, we would not be allowed to be alive today. Because, oh, we're not perfect enough for their sick society. As always, though, all of this is just my analysis and commentary. That's what's happening in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So what do you think about all of this? Are you team Jesse and Ashley, or are you against what they did? Let me know down in the comments below. And, of course, the most important part of that question, the unspoken part, why? If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.